In the quiet town of Blackwood, the centuries-old St. Agnes Church stood as a symbol of tranquility. However, when a new priest, Father Gabriel, arrived, strange occurrences plagued the church. Unexplained whispers echoed through the halls, and unsettling shadows lurked in the corners, signaling the beginning of a chilling haunting. Father Gabriel delved into the church's history and discovered a dark secret. The church was built on grounds once used for occult rituals. A malevolent force, awakened by the church's presence, sought revenge, trapping the souls of the damned within the church's walls. The church's parishioners, once devout, became wary of attending services. Whispers of the supernatural spread like wildfire, and fear gripped the town. Father Gabriel, determined to restore faith, performed cleansing rituals, but the entity grew stronger, feeding on the fear and despair of the people. During a choir rehearsal, an unseen force possessed the singers, forcing them to sing ominous hymns in an otherworldly language. Father Gabriel witnessed this terrifying event, realizing that the entity sought to communicate a dark message, its intentions more sinister than he could comprehend. Father Gabriel uncovered an ancient curse linked to St. Agnes Church. Centuries ago, a vengeful witch cursed the church and its clergy, cursing them to eternal suffering. To break the curse, Father Gabriel embarked on a perilous journey, seeking the knowledge required to banish the malevolent entity. In a hidden chamber beneath the church, Father Gabriel discovered the diary of the vengeful witch, revealing her tragic story. She had been betrayed and executed by the church's clergy, cursing them with her dying breath. Father Gabriel realized that her restless spirit sought revenge against the descendants of those who wronged her. Father Gabriel, armed with the knowledge from the witch's diary, performed a risky ritual to communicate with her spirit. Through the ritual, he learned of a powerful amulet hidden in a forgotten catacomb beneath the church that could weaken the entity's influence and potentially break the curse. Navigating the treacherous catacombs, Father Gabriel encountered tormented souls bound by the entity's dark magic. He battled malevolent spirits and solved ancient riddles, ultimately finding the amulet. However, retrieving it triggered a chain reaction, awakening the entity's wrath. Father Gabriel faced the entity in a fierce battle within the catacombs. Shadows danced around them as the entity unleashed its full power. With the amulet in hand, Father Gabriel chanted ancient incantations, weakening the entity and forcing it to retreat temporarily. With the amulet in his possession, Father Gabriel strengthened the church's protective wards. The amulet, infused with the spirits of the tormented souls, created a barrier against the entity's influence. The church became a sanctuary once more, and hope flickered within the hearts of the townsfolk. For a while, peace settled over St. Agnes Church. Father Gabriel and the parishioners cautiously resumed their normal routines. However, the entity's malevolence lingered in the shadows, biding its time and plotting its return. Subtle signs of the entity's presence reemerged. Objects moved on their own, and chilling laughter echoed through the church at night. Father Gabriel sensed the entity's growing anger and desperation, realizing that it would stop at nothing to break the protective wards. A parishioner named Sarah fell victim to the entity's possession. Her once kind eyes turned malevolent, and her voice took on a sinister tone. Father Gabriel, recognizing the signs, attempted an exorcism, but the entity resisted, its grip on Sarah growing stronger with each passing day. To save Sarah, Father Gabriel consulted ancient texts, discovering a ritual that could sever the entity's connection to her soul. The ritual required precise timing and unwavering faith. As he performed the ceremony, the church shook, and the entity's screams filled the air. Several parishioners mysteriously vanished, leaving behind only cryptic messages. Father Gabriel realized that the entity had manipulated them, using their fear and despair to weaken the protective wards. Determined to save his flock, Father Gabriel strengthened the wards, pouring his own strength into the protective spells. During a midnight vigil, The church was consumed by an otherworldly darkness. Father Gabriel and the parishioners found themselves trapped inside, their voices drowned out by eerie whispers. The entity revealed its true form, a grotesque, shadowy figure with glowing eyes. The parishioners huddled together, reciting prayers to fend off the malevolent presence. Realizing that the entity fed on fear, Father Gabriel made a bold decision. He stepped forward, offering himself as a sacrifice to save the parishioners. His bravery and selflessness created a surge of protective energy, forcing the entity back and sealing the church's doors, preventing its escape. Within the church's confines, Father Gabriel encountered the spirits of the witches' victims, souls bound by the entity's curse. They pledged their allegiance, aiding Father Gabriel in the battle against the entity. Together, they devised a plan to weaken the entity and banish it from the church once and for all. The ghostly allies and Father Gabriel performed an ancient ritual, creating an unearthly symphony of prayer and light. The church resonated with their combined energy, dispelling the entity's darkness. The entity writhed in agony, its form contorting as it attempted to resist the cleansing power. In a climactic battle, Father Gabriel and the ghostly allies faced the entity. The church trembled with the intensity of their struggle. With the amulet and the spirit's energy, Father Gabriel weakened the entity's defenses, allowing the ghostly allies to bind the entity in chains of light. With a final incantation, Father Gabriel and the ghostly allies banished the entity from St. Agnes Church. The entity screamed in fury and despair, vanishing into the depths of the underworld. The church was finally free from its malevolent presence. In the aftermath of the battle, Father Gabriel and the parishioners worked together to cleanse the church of any residual darkness. The church's aura of tranquility returned, and the haunting whispers faded away. The town of Blackwood celebrated the victory, grateful for Father Gabriel's courage and the ghostly allies' aid. With the entity's curse lifted, the parishioners regained their faith in St. Agnes Church. Father Gabriel's unwavering dedication inspired them, and the church became a symbol of hope and resilience. The once haunted halls echoed with hymns of gratitude, and the town's spirit was revitalized. Father Gabriel's bravery and the parishioners' resilience became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. St. Agnes Church stood as a testament to their strength, reminding the world that even in the face of the darkest forces, faith and unity could prevail. Although the entity was banished, Father Gabriel knew that vigilance was necessary. He continued his studies, delving into ancient texts to ensure the church remained protected. The ghostly allies, now at peace, stood watch over the church, their presence a comforting assurance to Father Gabriel and the parishioners. Years passed, and the haunting became a distant memory. St. Agnes Church thrived, its pews filled with devoted worshippers. Father Gabriel, now an elder in the church, smiled as he saw the faith and unity that had emerged from the darkness. The town of Blackwood embraced a new dawn, its spirit unbreakable. One day, a weary traveler arrived in Blackwood, seeking shelter in St. Agnes Church. Father Gabriel welcomed the stranger, unaware that the traveler carried an ancient artifact, an amulet similar to the one used in the banishment ritual. Little did they know that the entity's malevolence still lingered, seeking a chance to return. The weary traveler, named Amelia, revealed the artifact's secret. It was an amulet of shadows, capable of harnessing both light and darkness. Amelia had stumbled upon ancient texts describing a ritual that could amplify the amulet's power, potentially resurrecting the banished entity. Horrified by the revelation, Father Gabriel knew they had to prevent the ritual at any cost. Amelia, driven by a dark purpose, began the forbidden ritual in the church's hidden chamber. Father Gabriel, armed with his knowledge of ancient lore, confronted her. A battle of wills ensued as Father Gabriel tried to convince Amelia of the entity's malevolence. The fate of Blackwood hung in the balance. Within the hidden chamber, Father Gabriel and Amelia engaged in a battle that transcended the physical realm. Shadows writhed and light flickered as their powers clashed. The fate of the Amulet of Shadows determined the outcome of their struggle, each moment tipping the scales towards salvation or calamity. Amidst the battle, the ghostly allies who had aided Father Gabriel before intervened. Their ethereal presence bolstered his resolve, creating a shield of spiritual energy that protected him from Amelia's dark influence. Their combined efforts weakened Amelia's control over the ritual, giving Father Gabriel a chance to seize the amulet. Amelia, consumed by the darkness, realized the error of her ways. In a moment of clarity, she sacrificed herself to disrupt the ritual. Her selflessness shattered the amulet, preventing the entity's resurrection. Amelia's sacrifice served as a beacon of redemption, breaking the cycle of malevolence that had plagued Blackwood. Blackwood mourned the loss of Amelia, recognizing her bravery in the face of darkness. Father Gabriel conducted a solemn service in her honor, vowing to preserve her memory and continue protecting the town. The spirit of unity among the townsfolk grew stronger, a testament to the sacrifices made for their shared safety. In the aftermath of the ordeal, Father Gabriel and the remaining ghostly allies reinforced the church's protective wards. Using the residual energy from the shattered amulet, they crafted new spells, ensuring that the church would be safeguarded against any future threats. The town of Blackwood breathed a collective sigh of relief, knowing they were shielded by the courage of their protectors. Despite the apparent peace, Father Gabriel remained vigilant. He continued his research, delving deeper into ancient texts to understand the entity's origins fully. The ghostly allies stood watchful, their ethereal forms patrolling the church grounds, ready to alert Father Gabriel at the slightest sign of supernatural disturbance. Even with the protective wards in place, the haunting memories lingered. Father Gabriel and the townsfolk, scared by their encounters with the supernatural, found solace in each other's presence. Their shared experiences created an unbreakable bond, transforming Blackwood into a town that stood united against the forces of darkness. As years passed, a new generation grew up in Blackwood, unaware of the town's dark history. Father Gabriel, now an elder statesman, took on the responsibility of training a new group of guardians. He imparted his knowledge, ensuring that the town's defenses would be passed down to those willing to protect their home. One stormy night, a group of mysterious visitors arrived in Blackwood. They claimed to be paranormal investigators, interested in the town's supernatural past. Skeptical yet intrigued, Father Gabriel allowed them access to the church's archives, unaware that their arrival would unearth ancient secrets and awaken dormant malevolence. The paranormal investigators, led by a renowned psychic named Ilara, began their research. As they delved into the church's history, supernatural phenomena intensified. Objects moved on their own, and chilling whispers filled the air. Ilara sensed a powerful presence, distinct from the entity they had faced before, lurking in the shadows. In an attempt to communicate with the entity, Ilara organized a séance within the church. The atmosphere grew tense as the séance began, and the room was engulfed in an otherworldly coldness. The entity's presence became palpable, and Ilara channeled its energy, seeking to understand its motives and desires. Through Ilara's connection with the entity, a tragic tale unfolded. The entity, once a human cursed by dark magic, sought redemption for its past sins. It revealed that a malevolent force, older and more sinister than itself, manipulated events to turn it into a vengeful spirit. Together, they faced a common enemy, the ancient darkness that had cursed them both. The entity made a pact with Ilara and Father Gabriel. It offered its assistance in exchange for their help in breaking the ancient curse that bound them. Reluctantly, Father Gabriel agreed, realizing that the entity's redemption might hold the key to Blackwood's lasting peace. The entity revealed the existence of a cursed relic, the Bloodstone Amulet, which had amplified its malevolence. To break the curse, they needed to locate the amulet and perform a ritual to purify its dark energies. The amulet, hidden for centuries, was rumored to be buried deep within Blackwood's haunted woods. Father Gabriel, Ilara, and a group of trusted individuals embarked on a perilous journey into the haunted woods. Guided by the entity's knowledge, they faced spectral guardians, ancient traps, and the vengeful spirits of the cursed woods. Their determination was unwavering as they ventured deeper, guided by the hope of breaking the curse. In the heart of the haunted woods, the group encountered the Guardian, a mythical entity tasked with protecting the Bloodstone amulet. To prove their worth, they underwent a series of trials, testing their courage, wisdom, and compassion. Overcoming the Guardian's challenges, they earned its trust and learned the amulet's location. Armed with the Bloodstone amulet, Father Gabriel, Ilara, and their companions performed the ritual of purification within the church. The amulet glowed with malevolent energy, resisting their efforts. With the entity's guidance, they chanted ancient incantations, channeling their collective willpower to cleanse the amulet and weaken the ancient darkness. As the ritual progressed, the ancient darkness retaliated. Shadowy tendrils snaked through the church, threatening to extinguish the sacred flames. Father Gabriel and Ilara stood firm, their unwavering resolve amplifying the ritual's power. The entity, now redeemed, lent its strength, pushing back against the darkness. A fierce battle unfolded between the entity and the ancient darkness. Light clashed with shadow, each force vying for dominance. Father Gabriel, Ilara, and their companions fought alongside the entity, defending the purified amulet. The church trembled under the strain of their struggle, but their determination prevailed. With a final surge of power, the entity and its allies triumphed over the ancient darkness. The purified amulet emitted a brilliant light, dispelling the shadows that had plagued Blackwood for centuries. The church, once a battleground, now stood bathed in the glow of redemption. The ancient darkness was vanquished, its malevolence eradicated by the combined efforts of Father Gabriel, Ilara, and the redeemed entity. Blackwood found its long-awaited peace, and the Church of St. Agnes became a beacon of hope. The tale of redemption and unity echoed through the town, reminding future generations that even the darkest souls could find salvation in the light of compassion and courage. It was a gloomy and unseasonably cold night when Catherine moved to the small, isolated town of Blackwood. The quaint town was nestled deep within a dense forest, far away from the bustling city she had called home for years. She sought a fresh start and solitude, far removed from the chaos of urban life. As she settled into her charming, centuries-old cottage, Catherine couldn't help but notice the peculiar behavior of her new neighbors. They were friendly, yet kept their distance, and their gazes often lingered just a bit too long. She assumed it was the idiosyncrasies of a small, close-knit community. As days turned into weeks, Catherine couldn't ignore the unsettling whispers that seemed to follow her wherever she went. The townspeople spoke in hushed tones, revealing that Blackwood held secrets deeper and darker than the surrounding forest. "Stay indoors when the moon is high," a shopkeeper warned her one day, her voice trembling. "For strange things happen in the night, and the darkness conceals ancient terrors." Catherine, curious and undeterred, decided to learn more about the town's history. She discovered that the people of Blackwood had been plagued by mysterious deaths and strange occurrences for centuries. Rumors of vampires and blood rituals had become a part of the town's lore. One fateful night, as the moon loomed large in the sky, Catherine awoke to the sound of frantic footsteps outside her cottage. She peered through her window and saw a shadowy figure darting through the moonlit streets. As she ventured outside, her heart racing, she discovered the lifeless body of a young woman, her throat brutally torn open. The gruesome sight sent shivers down Catherine's spine, and she realized that the stories about vampires might not be mere legend, but a horrifying reality. Panic gripped the town as more victims were discovered, their deaths mirroring the same gruesome fate. Fear and suspicion spread like wildfire, and the townspeople's hushed voices grew more fervent. Catherine's determination to uncover the truth led her to an enigmatic stranger named Alexander. He was a recluse, shunned by the townspeople, and rumored to possess knowledge about the dark forces that plagued Blackwood. With a tone of caution and urgency, Alexander revealed to Catherine the town's harrowing history. He claimed to be a vampire hunter, a guardian of the night, and believed that the town had fallen under the sway of a malevolent vampire. As their paths became intertwined, Catherine realized that she was drawn to Alexander in a way she couldn't explain. His charisma and the air of mystery that surrounded him both intrigued and unnerved her. Catherine and Alexander embarked on a treacherous journey to unearth the secrets of Blackwood. Their investigations led them to forgotten diaries and records that hinted at a vampire's presence, a creature that had tormented the town for generations. The pair discovered an underground chamber hidden beneath the town's oldest church. It was a place of unspeakable horrors, filled with the remnants of ancient rituals and blood-stained altars. Catherine's heart pounded as they pieced together the truth. The vampire, a malevolent and powerful being, had found a home in Blackwood. Its insatiable thirst for blood had terrorized the town for centuries. As Catherine and Alexander delved deeper into the secrets of Blackwood, they unearthed an ancient pact that bound the town to the vampire's malevolent will. Generations ago, a desperate group of townspeople had made a pact with the vampire, trading their loyalty for protection and wealth. The price, however, had been steep. The vampire's influence grew stronger with each passing year, and the town's inhabitants became unwilling blood donors to satisfy the vampire's insatiable thirst. Armed with newfound knowledge, Catherine and Alexander realized that breaking the blood pact was the key to freeing Blackwood from the vampire's grip. The path to achieving this would be perilous, requiring them to confront the malevolent being and its centuries-old power. Their quest led them to the heart of the forest, to an ancient cave where the vampire had established its lair. As they ventured deeper into the darkness, a sinister presence enveloped them, and the air grew thick with malevolence. In the cave's depths, they found the vampire, a creature of dark elegance and unworldly beauty. Its eyes gleamed with a hunger that sent a shiver down Catherine's spine. The vampire's voice was hypnotic, its words a seductive blend of promises and threats. It spoke of eternal life and the power it could offer in exchange for their loyalty. But Catherine and Alexander remained steadfast in their mission to break the blood pact, no matter the cost. A ferocious battle erupted in the cavern as Catherine and Alexander faced off against the vampire. The creature's unearthly speed and strength made it a formidable opponent, and its ability to control shadows added a supernatural element to the fight. Catherine brandished a silver dagger, while Alexander wielded a blade forged in moonlight, the only weapon capable of harming the vampire. They fought with fierce determination, their hearts fueled by the need to free the town from the curse. The battle raged on, the walls of the cave bearing witness to the clash of light and darkness. With every strike and parry, Catherine and Alexander inched closer to breaking the blood pact that bound the town and the malevolent vampire. In a final, climactic confrontation, Catherine and Alexander overcame the vampire's supernatural prowess. With a swift and calculated move, Alexander plunged his moonlight-forged blade into the vampire's heart, causing it to writhe in agony. Catherine recited a forgotten incantation, breaking the blood pact that had ensnared Blackwood for centuries. The townspeople's fates were no longer intertwined with the vampires, and its malevolent influence began to wane. As the vampire's power weakened, it let out a heart-wrenching scream, its body disintegrating into dust, vanquished by the will of Catherine and Alexander. With the vampire's demise, Blackwood was free from the curse that had haunted it for generations. The townspeople emerged from their homes, their faces filled with a mixture of awe and gratitude. Catherine and Alexander, having played a pivotal role in breaking the curse, were hailed as saviors. The town, once shrouded in darkness, was now bathed in the light of hope and redemption. As Catherine and Alexander stood together, watching the sunrise over the forest, they knew that their destinies were forever entwined. They had faced a nightmarish evil and emerged victorious, forging a bond that transcended time and darkness. The town of Blackwood, once a place of terror, now stood as a symbol of resilience and triumph. The curse had been broken, and a new era had dawned in the once haunted town. After the vampire's defeat, Blackwood experienced a fragile peace. The town's inhabitants, no longer bound by the malevolent pact, slowly began to rebuild their lives. The scars of centuries of torment ran deep, and the collective trauma had left its mark on the town. Catherine and Alexander, their names now whispered in reverence, continued to reside in Blackwood, helping the townspeople heal and adapt to their newfound freedom. The two had grown close during their shared battle against the vampire, and their connection deepened as they faced the challenges of the aftermath. Despite the apparent peace, eerie occurrences continued to plague Blackwood. Unexplained disappearances and strange phenomena cast a shadow over the town, leading Catherine and Alexander to suspect that remnants of the vampire's malevolence still lingered. Catherine's investigation into the town's history led her to a forgotten prophecy, one that spoke of a vampire's return should the blood pact ever be broken. The prophecy foretold a series of trials that would test the strength and resilience of Blackwood's inhabitants. As the trials began, the town's newfound peace shattered, replaced by a growing unease. Catherine and Alexander knew that the malevolent force they thought they had vanquished was far from defeated. The trials were harrowing tests of the townspeople's resolve, a series of nightmarish ordeals that seemed designed to break their spirits. Unfamiliar shadows loomed at the edges of vision, and whispers filled the air with ominous warnings. One by one, the inhabitants of Blackwood faced their trials, confronting their deepest fears and darkest secrets. Some emerged from the trials stronger, their determination unbroken. Others were not so fortunate, succumbing to the malevolent force that sought to reclaim its hold on the town. Catherine and Alexander, their bond growing stronger with each trial they faced together, realized that the only way to protect Blackwood was to uncover the source of the malevolence and confront it head-on. Their investigations led them to a hidden chamber deep beneath the town, a place filled with ancient writings and inscriptions. There, they discovered the heart of the malevolent force, a malevolent entity that had existed for centuries, feeding on fear, despair, and suffering. This entity had manipulated the trials, using the townspeople's fears and weaknesses against them to regain its strength. It was a formidable adversary, a supernatural entity with an insatiable hunger for darkness. Catherine and Alexander knew that defeating the malevolent force would be their greatest challenge yet, and they faced it with a sense of urgency and determination. In the chamber, a final climactic confrontation unfolded between Catherine, Alexander, and the malevolent force. The entity, a swirling mass of darkness, taunted them with whispered secrets and their darkest fears. Catherine and Alexander, their love for each other serving as a source of strength, confronted the entity head-on. With resolve and the knowledge that their unity was their greatest weapon, they fought to banish the malevolent force once and for all. With a powerful incantation and the force of their will, they succeeded in weakening the entity. The chamber shuddered, and the malevolent force was consumed by its own malevolence, vanishing into the abyss. With the malevolent force defeated, Blackwood was finally free from its grip. The trials ceased, and the townspeople began the process of healing from the trauma they had endured. Catherine and Alexander, having faced the darkest of forces together, found solace in each other's arms. Their love, forged in the crucible of horror, had helped them overcome the malevolent entity that had haunted Blackwood. The town, once a place of dread, had now truly turned a corner. A new era had dawned in Blackwood, one of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of love in the face of darkness. As Blackwood continued to recover from the malevolent force's torment, Catherine and Alexander remained vigilant, knowing that the shadows of the past could still reach out to reclaim the town. They had seen the malevolent entity's insidious nature and understood that its influence could linger. The pair established a network of safeguards to protect Blackwood, including ancient wards and symbols meant to deter any resurgence of the malevolent force. Together, they stood as guardians, watching over the town and its inhabitants, their love and shared experiences serving as their strongest weapons against the darkness. Years passed, and Blackwood began to flourish once more. The scars of its torment remained, but the town had grown stronger, unified by its shared history of surviving the malevolent force's trials. Catherine and Alexander's legacy lived on in Blackwood, a testament to the strength of love and the indomitable spirit of a community that had faced its darkest fears. Their story became a part of the town's lore, a reminder of the resilience and courage that had brought them through the nightmarish ordeal. But the peace that had settled over Blackwood was fragile, and the memories of the malevolent force's reign still haunted the town's inhabitants. In the dead of night, townspeople sometimes whispered of strange shadows and whispered secrets that seemed to echo from the past. Catherine and Alexander, now an inseparable part of Blackwood's history, knew that the malevolent entity might forever remain a lurking presence in the town's shadowed corners. Their vigilance continued, and they remained prepared to protect the town should the darkness ever threaten to return. In the end, the story of Blackwood was one of enduring light, of hope that could withstand even the darkest of forces. The town, once shrouded in fear, had emerged stronger and more resilient, a place where love and courage had triumphed over the malevolent darkness. As Catherine and Alexander watched the sunset from their cottage, they knew that the shadows of the past would never fully dissipate. But they also understood that the light of their love and the unwavering strength of the town's inhabitants would always hold the darkness at bay. Blackwood was a place forever changed, where the echoes of horror and redemption would linger in the hearts and minds of those who had faced the malevolent force and emerged stronger, bound together by their shared history. One brisk autumn evening, as the leaves fell and the wind carried a chill, a newcomer arrived in Blackwood. Her name was Isabella, a woman with a mysterious aura and a past she kept hidden. She had heard whispers of the town's dark history and had come seeking a fresh start, hoping to find solace in the quiet isolation of Blackwood. Isabella took up residence in a cozy cottage at the edge of town. Her arrival met with curious glances and hushed conversations. She had an air of quiet strength and an uncanny ability to understand the shadows that lingered in the hearts of the townspeople. As Isabella settled into her new life, she couldn't escape the tales of Blackwood's history. The townspeople, though they had found peace in recent years, still held on to the memories of the malevolent force's trials and the darkness they had endured. Catherine and Alexander, the town's vigilant protectors, approached Isabella with caution but recognized a shared determination in her eyes. They revealed the town's history, the malevolent force they had faced, and the trials that still haunted Blackwood. As the trio of Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella joined forces to safeguard Blackwood from the lingering shadows of its dark history, a unique bond formed between them. Each had faced their own personal demons, and they found strength in their shared determination to protect the town. Together, they devised new wards and protections, continuously strengthening the town's defenses against the malevolent force that still sought to return. Isabella's understanding of the darkness, coupled with Catherine and Alexander's knowledge and experience, created an alliance that could not be easily broken. Despite the safeguards in place, unrest began to simmer within Blackwood. Whispers of strange occurrences and lingering shadows multiplied, causing unease among the townspeople. Some believed that the malevolent force had not truly been vanquished and was merely biding its time. As tensions grew, a division emerged among the townspeople. While some rallied behind Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella, others questioned the need for such vigilance, arguing that the town should move on and leave the past behind. One fateful night, as the moon hung low and the wind carried an eerie howl, the malevolent force launched a relentless assault on Blackwood. Shadows converged, whispers grew into a cacophony of fear, and a palpable darkness enveloped the town. Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella fought with all their might, but the malevolent force had returned with a vengeance. It used the town's divisions and fears against them, sowing discord and chaos in its wake. In a climactic battle, the trio realized that the only way to defeat the malevolent force once and for all was to confront their own pasts and fears, to unite against the darkness that sought to tear Blackwood apart. As Blackwood teetered on the brink of darkness, Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella delved into their own histories, confronting the traumas and fears that had shaped them. They discovered that the malevolent force drew strength from their own shadows, using their unresolved issues to feed its malevolence. With newfound insight and understanding, they overcame their individual demons and united against the malevolent force. Together, they channeled their strength and love into a powerful spell that weakened the entity. In a cataclysmic battle that tested their resolve and unity, Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella faced off against the malevolent force. The entity twisted their darkest fears and memories into grotesque manifestations, but the trio held strong, their bond unbreakable. With a final, overwhelming surge of magic and love, they defeated the malevolent force, vanquishing it from Blackwood once and for all. The town, bathed in a serene moonlight, began to heal from the turmoil that had gripped it. As the sun rose over Blackwood, the town emerged from the darkness that had once again threatened to consume it. Catherine, Alexander, and Isabella stood together, their spirits unbroken, their connection stronger than ever. Blackwood, having faced the shadows of its past once more, found hope and renewal in the love and resilience of its protectors. The town, now bound by a shared history of survival, understood that its enduring strength lay in unity and the ability to confront its darkest fears. The echoes of the malevolent force were quieted, and a new era began in Blackwood, one of renewed hope and the enduring power of love to overcome even the most malevolent of forces.